Alright, here's the deal. Pi Network is currently dancing dangerously close to a key technical level that could make or break the token's short-term future. While the rest of the crypto market is making a modest comeback, Pi has been quietly lagging behind. But wait, something very interesting is brewing. Despite the price being far from its all-time high, Pi's trading volume has surged by over 35% in a single day. That's not just noise, that's a pulse. That's the sound of traders sniffing out an opportunity before the rest of the crowd catches on. Now here's the question everyone's whispering, but no one's answering out loud. Can Pi Network break through the resistance that has kept it stuck for weeks and finally begin its breakout above the 50-day moving average? Or are we bracing for another sharp dip toward that scary support zone? And what about those 131 million tokens expected to be unlocked every month for the next year? Will Pi drown in its own supply, or is a surprise token burn about to change the game? What do you think? Is Pi about to boom past that 50-day moving average, or are we in for another bearish twist? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and let's start a real community discussion. And hey, if you missed any of our recent deep dives into Pi Network price updates, migration issues, or KYC problems, make sure you check out our past videos. Links are waiting for you in the description below. If you're a true believer in the mission, drop Pi Network to the moon in the comments and represent your country loud and proud below. We want to see where our global Pi family is tuning in from. And don't forget, your support keeps this Pi engine running. Smash that like button, share this with your fellow pioneers, and hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Also, hop into our Telegram and Facebook groups, where the conversation never sleeps. Quick reminder, this video is for entertainment purposes only. It's not investment advice, and we're not financial advisors. Always do your own research, Now let's get into it. The Pi Network story right now feels like a suspenseful movie scene where the hero's fate hangs by a thread. The market is showing signs of recovery. Some tokens are already sprinting ahead, but Pi is still catching its breath, hovering around 58 cents, painfully far from its glorious high of $2.99. That's an 80% drop if you're counting. But as always in crypto, what meets the eye isn't the whole story. Lurking beneath that sleepy price action is something surprising. Volume. Over $128 million in trading activity lit up the charts in just 24 hours. That's a serious shift in attention. When traders start showing interest again after a slump, it often signals that something's about to pop. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but soon. Think of it like a volcano rumbling before the eruption. But the main character in today's plot twist, the 50-day simple moving average. Right now, it's sitting like a boss at around 82 cents, and Pi just can't seem to climb over it. This moving average is no joke. It's one of those critical resistance levels that can either open the gates to recovery or slam them shut with a thud. So far, it's been doing the latter. Looking at the charts, the shorter-term averages like the 10-day and 20-day are not being friendly either. They're waving red flags all over the place. That means momentum is still leaning bearish. But there are small, hopeful whispers in the indicators. The relative strength index is around 38.7. That's not quite in oversold territory, but it's close. When the RSI dips into that range, it often means sellers are getting tired, and buyers could be preparing to sneak back in. We're also seeing Pi hover near the lower Bollinger Band, which is often a technical cue for low volatility and possible overselling. That could trigger a bounce, sending the price back toward the middle range, maybe 75 cents or even 85 cents, if the stars align and traders start piling in. But here's where things get really spicy. If Pi somehow manages to snap that 50-day SMA with strong, undeniable volume, it could blast off toward 90 cents or higher. If it miraculously breaches $1, that would be a major psychological level, a big fat milestone. It would flip sentiment from May to, let's go ooh, especially if it happens on the back of big news, say a listing on Binance or Coinbase. Don't laugh, it's not impossible. The community is already buzzing about it, but just as easily the flip side of this coin isn't as shiny. If Pi can't break the 50-day resistance and the volume fades again, we could see a slip back down to the support zone around 55 cents. Worse, if things go really south and the selling pressure accelerates, it might retest 45 cents. That's dangerously close to historical lows, and nobody wants to see that again. What's dragging Pi down despite all this potential? One word: dilution. In April alone, over 21 million new Pi tokens hit the market, worth around $12.3 million, and it's not stopping there. Get this, about 131 million tokens are expected to unlock every month for the next year. Unless demand starts climbing rapidly or the core team pulls a rabbit out of the hat, the pressure from that kind of supply could weigh heavily on price. But wait, there might be a twist to this dilution doom story. Token burns. Yep, a good old-fashioned burn might be exactly what Pi needs to breathe some fire back into its price. The Pi Foundation reportedly holds over 70 billion tokens. That's more than $40 billion worth. What if they started burning some of those coins? Boom! Supply shock, price floor, confidence boost. It could change the entire game. And the best part? Token burns can even be built into the ecosystem. Imagine if app fees or transaction charges automatically fed into a burning mechanism. That's what makes deflationary tokens so attractive. They self-regulate and reward holders over time. It's a model that's worked wonders for other projects. The question is, will Pi adopt it? Now zooming back to our short-term outlook, everyone's eyes are locked on the 50-day SMA. Break it, and we're back in the game. Fail again, and Pi might slump further, dragging morale and momentum with it. The weird part is, even though the price hasn't moved much, that massive jump in volume hints at something bigger in the background. Somebody, maybe a whale or a coordinated group, is loading up. The question is why? And that brings us back to one potential mega catalyst, a major exchange listing. Binance, Coinbase, even HTX. A listing on any one of these platforms would flip the switch for Pi. It would open the floodgates to new users, increase credibility, and most importantly, unlock fresh demand. Suddenly, all those unlocked tokens wouldn't look so scary anymore because there'd be actual liquidity and interest to absorb them. But none of that matters if Pi can't prove its strength right now. It needs to break through the 50-day wall, not just with price, but with power, with conviction, with volume, and with community backing. That means us. That means you. It means showing support, building utility, educating others, and preparing for the moment Pi reclaims its place in the spotlight. So here we are on the edge of what could be the beginning of Pi's comeback, or maybe just another quiet week of waiting. But for the first time in a while, the pieces are moving. The indicators are twitching. The volume is speaking. The only question is, what happens next? In today's video, we unpack the rising tension around Pi Network's current price action, the massive spike in trading volume, the all-important 50-day moving average resistance, and the potential game changers like token burns and future exchange listings. We also touched on the risks of token dilution and how it could affect Pi's journey over the next 12 months. But most importantly, we saw the signs, real signs, that the community and market might be preparing for a major shift. Now, if you found this video helpful, insightful, or even just a little bit entertaining, please show us some love by hitting that like button, sharing it with your fellow pioneers, and smashing that subscribe button. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest Pi Network news, updates, and breakdowns. And before you go, here's a question for you. Do you think Pi Network will break above the 50-day moving average this month, or are we heading for another drop? Drop your answer in the comments below, and if you have any questions or contributions, don't hesitate. Light up that comment section. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.